Y'all ready?
Somewhere we can grow. Somewhere where we hear us out. Things you wanna know. It's here at
Talks with Tess.
Where it all began. We do not play pretend. Go and tell a friend. It's here at
Talks with Tess.
Up the bed in the morning. On my phone charting, I'm going in. Before I get up out the door, it's emotion. That's a lie. Just know we going. Get it together.
Get it together.
Talk a lot of shit on the regular. We ain't going away. Here on Talks with Tez. Yo, welcome back to Talks with Tez. It's me, Cortez Shaw. I want to start off by saying thank you guys for being here with me today. Y'all know I love y'all. I love y'all like fat kid love cake. Okay? My biscuits, okay? I love y'all, man. I love y'all. You guys have no idea how much I love you, but just know that I love you. That said, you probably I'm out of breath. I've been running around like a chicken with my head cut off. It's been a very, very, very productive, busy week. And when I say productive and busy, I don't think y'all quite understand. And I won't get into it. And I won't bore you with what I had going on. It's not boring, but just know there's a lot going on. Today's episode, for those of you who are listening to the episode via audio, there is no changes for you. But if you are one of the ones who tune in on YouTube, today's episode unfortunately will not have a video, but you still can go and watch it. Obviously, you're watching it right now. All right. So you still can go to YouTube to watch the video. It'll just be, audio with words. So sorry, guys. I do apologize. It's just been a very busy week, and I wasn't able to squeeze in enough time to get the episode done. And I was like, you know what? I don't care. I don't care. I'm still going to put it out. That said, let's jump into today's topic. It's just a pickup from last week. All right. Speaking of last week, of course, the episode, Do I Get My Lick Back, is it's a touchy subject. It's a touchy subject because on one end, I can see the rationale as to why somebody want to get that lick back. But honestly, when it comes to relationships, it's, in my opinion, okay, I'm no professional, but this is just my opinion. It's never worth it. It's never worth it to get your lick back. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes the best medicine is someone else's medicine served cold. And there's times where it makes it, but let me be more specific. When it comes to cheating, don't get your lick back. Don't do that, because we've already gone over this before. But if the person cheats on you and then you go back and cheat on them, or who's wrong in this situation? You know what I mean? And not only that, but you add another body to your. I mean, I don't know if you're gonna revisit somebody that you talked to in the past, or is it gonna be someone? If it's someone new, it's still energy exchanged. Where if you've gotten to the point where you feel like you have to get your lick back, just leave. Just leave. And I know it's easier said than done. Inflation is disrespectful. Bills are high. Listen, I don't know if you're living in a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, or a home, whatever. Go to a separate bedroom. If that's not an option, go to the living room. Okay, give that person the bedroom. You sleep in the living room, and start living your life separately until you feel like that person either has a understanding of what they did and they want to actually do better and do right, and not on that bull, but they actually want to do better, or just come to terms with maybe that relationship has served you. Maybe the relationship has served its purpose. Nobody's really the bad guy. The tower moment that ended the relationship was the cheating escapade, but maybe it served its course, or run its course, should I say. One thing I've learned being in a relationship is, and I just in like a relationship, like romantic relationship, just in a relationship in life, they serve their tenure. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times what happens is we'll hold on. Some relationships are meant to last a lifetime, and I'm romantic, platonic, family, friends, whatever. It's meant to last a lifetime. And sometimes y'all can actually grow best apart, that y'all actually may come together and it's 10 times better than what it was before. That's for the people who need to break up. Sometimes you break up and you go about your separate ways, and that's the end of it. But I think that you have to maintain an awareness of not everything is a bad thing. I think sometimes what happens is people are in situations where they're not happy, and instead of working on it or getting therapy, and I can't stress enough how much therapy, guys, it truly works wonders. It's not like a cliche. It's like, oh, I get there. No, for real. If you got any real issues going on in your relationship, therapy, I would recommend it. But if you don't get therapy, and it run its course, we hold on to it in an unhappy space, and then we are upset when a tower moment or a hard moment comes into play, like cheating or something like that. But the whole time we were unhappy. You know what I'm saying? And no, I'm not talking about myself, y'all. But I'm saying the whole time in the relationship, you were unhappy. Right? So either do the work to become healthy and happy and stop looking at the symptoms of being unhappy. Symptom cheating, symptom betrayal, symptom. Those are symptoms. The root cause. What's the root cause? What's causing y'all to be in those spaces? Is it y'all not opening up? Y'all not vulnerable? Y'all not willing to put it on the table? Y'all got childhood trauma? Y'all have things y'all have going on internally that y'all don't want to talk about? But you got to realize you still got to talk about it. Just because you don't want to talk about something and something's a difficult subject, or you tell yourself, I'm just not going to talk about that. Okay. But life will show you you're not in control. We're not in control in that capacity. And so I think the sooner we realize that, the better. And then we can go on having, a great relationship and continue to build memories and have a happy life. But I think until we start having those real conversations and start seeing things for what they are, then it will be hard for you to actually manifest love, manifest a long-lasting relationship. Because these are just real things we got to do in life, y'all. Not to get deep, but that's just the real shit. All right, moving on. Let's jump to the next subject. I got a few nuggets I'm going to share with y'all today. Now, today's episode, I'm going to aim for 20 minutes or less. So just keep that in mind. But we're going to move right along here. All right, so first question is, it's from Anonymous. I don't ever talk about names on here. I just feel like I don't want to out y'all business. Maybe I should start saying names. All right, so it says, this isn't anything bad, but I do need help. Recently, I got engaged, and my fiance says he wants to wear a ring too, because he likes to say he's also engaged and wants people to know that. I got him a rubber one like he wanted because of his job. How do you think I go about giving it to him? I don't want to just hand it to him. Men deserve to be spoiled too. First of all, shout out to you. Clap one time, okay? I'm not going to clap on the mic. It's going to sound crazy, but the fact that you understand that we also deserve to be spoiled. It's not just us doting on, you beautiful, beautiful creatures. All right. So that said, I don't know. You're a person better than I do. I would say, think of something he would least expect, right? Maybe something he's into that you don't really care about. And or even it annoys you that he does it. And or make it funny, like maybe does he leave the toilet up, right? Like one day be griping about, oh my God, you left the toilet up again, and have him come in the bathroom. You pissed on the toilet. Sorry, you peed on the toilet again. Have him come in there ready to defend himself, like, oh my God, here she goes, bruh. And then just like be on one knee. Hey babe, you know what I mean? I feel like that's kind of sexy. I feel like it's gonna catch him off guard, and now in the future, because you're probably still gonna yell at him about having the toilet up or peeing on the toilet. Now it'll have like a kind of beautiful symbolism to it. Y'all, sorry for my dog out there. They're playing. They're a little loud. All right. So the next person, do you want to help me see if my girl is cheating? I think she might be, but not sure. Do you want to help? No. Okay. No, I don't want to help. Thank you for, wanting to have me a part of the situation. I'm sorry you're going through that. Let me start by saying, damn, I'm sorry. Are you not being paranoid? If you're not being paranoid and you have a gut feeling that she's cheating, she's probably cheating. I'm just saying. Now, if you've been in relationships before where somebody's cheated on you and you have like you're self-conscious about that and you have a complex about that, just check in, make sure you're not spazzing, make sure you're not projecting, make sure you're giving her room to make her own mistakes. If none of what I just said applies, you've never been cheated on, but you have a suspicion that she's cheating because of X, Y, and Z, you're probably right. Just saying, you may be right. Look into it further. There's actually a content creator, Jack TV. Go to YouTube, type in Jack TV. He specializes in helping people find people cheat. So if you need somebody to help you, He's your guy. I am not your guy. All right, so next question. I've been dating someone for a while. He has no children. He told me I should tell my children to get up and clean. He doesn't live with us. My children do help me. He didn't even ask what they do. He has made comments before about children needing to be brought into line and speak when spoken to. Is this out of line? You tell me. I don't know. Is this out of line for you? It depends on what you're into. Like, if you're into that type of household, that type of structure, maybe not. I feel like if you're asking this question, you already don't agree with it. You know what I mean? Those are your kids. I don't know the ages of your kids. Like I said, sometimes y'all ask me questions. I need a little more context. Like, just give me a little more so I can understand, like, the circumstance. Now, what I will say is, as a man, it sounds like you may be a single mother. And as a man, it is our job to bring structure in the household, right? No matter the sexuality. You know what I'm saying? As a man, we bring structure. And if your kids aren't, in his eyes, potentially living up to their full potential, I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing, as long as it's not coming from a toxic space. And what I mean by that is, if he's just militant and he's just this way, and you know what I mean, and my parents raised me, nah, we're not rocking with that. But if it's your kids are, maybe they'll do this or that, but they don't really have structure, and he may see that they can benefit from having more structure. I don't know. Maybe he's looking out for their best interest. I wouldn't know that, though. Only you would know that. And I think that trust your gut feeling. Also, sometimes, y'all, to get what we never had, we have to do things we never done before. Just make sure it doesn't stray from your morale. In relationships, you're going to grow. You're going to change. Things are going to be different. I'm just keeping it. You may have things that you like a certain way. They may like things a certain way. Y'all both are going to have to kind of like calibrate and fine tune until y'all reach a happy medium. And maybe have a conversation. If you're uncomfortable, say, I thank you for being interested in my kids and their productivity. I appreciate the input. I do want to have a conversation with you to see, what's your perspective on kids? What does that look like? What does that role look like for you? See if it's in alignment. If it's in alignment with what you want out of your future big picture, subscribe to it. If it isn't, have the conversation. Okay, well, these are my kids at this point. But if that's already in him, he still can grow to change. It doesn't make him a bad person. He could be used a certain type of way. I'm not advocating for the other person, y'all. I'm just, relationships, you have to look at things from both sides. No, you know what I mean? When you start to look at it only from one side, like I said earlier, someone cheating, the example. He cheated on me. Yeah, but what did you do? Like, how nagging were you? How we have to look at it from all sides. So just do that and then come back. Holla at me. But don't get it twisted. I'm not saying disrespect yourself, allow someone to disrespect you. What I'm saying is, like, willing participants, see what role do you play. If every box checks that you're doing the right thing, if every box check that you're being a mom who's giving your kids structure, if maybe you don't think your kids need to do much, maybe, you know what I mean, but just what lines up with you and what doesn't line up with you, and just be true to yourself. All right, moving on. All right, it says, this guy I'm talking to, it's in air quotes, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna need time to think about this. So I guess he said that, which he's referring to if he wants to continue this or not. He said this at 10:30 a.m. yesterday, and I still haven't heard back yet. What do I do? Do I say anything or just wait until tomorrow? What do I say anyways? Have you had time to think? Context. What's the breakdown? What is the breakdown? And if he said this at 10:30 a.m. yesterday, I'm sorry, but I'm going to need time to... Okay, I don't know your circumstance, so I'm not going to prejudge it. But what I will say is that if someone says they need time, they want to think about it, I don't know what led y'all to this point. But you do. You know why this happened. And I think that's the part that you're not putting in the story. Like, not saying you're at fault. I'm not saying you're at fault. What I'm saying is, like, what happened? Like, did he do something? Did you do something? Did your folks do something? Is this like the last straw? Like, I can't answer that question without more context. I do apologize, but any advice I give may be wrong advice because I don't know the circumstance of what actually happened. So come back, let me know what happened, and I will absolutely answer that question for you. All right. Next question. Should you trust your significant other to go out to the bars without you? Yeah. I say yeah. Yeah. I feel like, what? Of course. I feel like your spouse or your partner should be able to go anywhere without you, and vice versa. You guys should be able to go anywhere without each other. If there's a question about if whether or not somebody should go with somebody else, XYZ, or sorry, go somewhere without you, y'all gotta start asking we keep asking like the symptom shit. Like, okay, what's the core cause? Is there's obviously a lack of trust, either in this relationship or as it has existed in the past, right? So have that conversation, build that trust, establish that, reassure one another, so when y'all both can go and experience life without each other. Because one thing I will say is that if you are around each other every day, 24/7, yeah, no, it gets stale, and y'all need to have that time apart. Even if it's going to the gym, whatever the case, y'all need to have time apart so that y'all can not just grow in your relationship, but y'all can grow personally as well. Y'all cannot. Let me say this. You cannot spend all day with your person. Okay? If now your thing may be when y'all go to work, that's y'all time apart. That cannot be the only time that y'all are away from each other, because that's a mandated time away. Mandated meaning bills is real. You know what I'm saying? You got to pay the bills. Duh, you got to go to work. If you don't, you're going to be poor and homeless. So that's not a choice. That's mandated. The job you work is probably a choice, but to work is not a choice. So y'all have to have a healthy space to where y'all can experience life without each other. So when y'all come together, y'all have stories for each other. He may come home and say, babe, I went to the bar last night, or whatever. Maybe it's in the morning. I went to the bar last night and you will not believe what happened. Blah, 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 blah. And y'all start laughing about what happened. And you tell him about the time you went to. That's healthy. If you don't need to be there. You don't need to be there. Make sure you're not being codependent. Make sure you're not being clingy. That there is nothing attractive about being clingy. There is nothing attractive about being clingy. Love each other, want each other, need each other, loosely need each other, but don't be clingy. All right, here we go. Long distance relationship, daily communication, met only once, been dating for 6 months, even though we've talked here and there about a year. No sex involved yet. I don't want sex before a committed relationship. He said he's fine with that. He's coming to town next week, staying for a bit with me. This is why. Okay. I want to define our relationship. He doesn't. Wants to be more than friends, but less than relationship. No label. Either we're friends or in a relationship. No middle. None of that situation thing. Sorry, I'm old school. Okay, we see you old school. I'm not asking him to marry me or even move in. Just want to be considered as a girlfriend, more than just a friend. He said, he said, we're fine the way we are. We're going slow. Prevent another failed relationship. Kind of feel hurt and being turned down. Okay, so it's been 6 months. Y'all in a long distance relationship. He's ready to take the next step. You're not wanting to take the next step with anybody until you're a girlfriend. Y'all are on two separate pages. I think this is actually the perfect time for y'all. It's not what he wants doesn't sound terrible, and what you want doesn't sound terrible. I think that y'all have to see if what y'all want for each other, because I don't think he should change what he desires. Maybe he wants to have something, you know what I mean? Long distance relationships are just hard. To me, they're unrealistic, but I also seen so many beautiful ones, so I can't be biased in that regard. It's not for me. I can't do it, but they're hard. You know what I mean? So if you can survive a long distance relationship, you can survive anything. I think that if your values and your morals and you know what I'm saying, the way you look at life, you say you don't want to have sex until you're someone's girlfriend, then stick to that. That's what choosing you looks like, right? It may be unrealistic to a lot of people. Hell, it's unrealistic. I don't even rock with it. If I'm being 100% honest, me and Bae waited almost a year before we had, sex, but we weren't an item, so to speak. We were dating exclusively, but we weren't like an item. We weren't official. So, but that's not to say, I waited almost a year. It was 11 months. So stick to your core values, right? And respect him for his values. If he's not with that, he's not with that. Have the conversation. Maybe one of you will see the other one's perspective and decide to essentially change your minds, or maybe not. And maybe, that's why I said this is the perfect time that this has come up, because 6 months in, long distance relationship, This is a perfect time to see if y'all are meant for each other. And I feel like, but I don't even want to go that deep. I would say maybe there's a deeper conversation. Like he said, let me pull it back up here. He said, we're fine the way we are. We're going slow to prevent another failed relationship. He just told you what his biggest fear was. A failed relationship. I don't know your biggest fear, but you obviously don't want to become sexually involved without being in a relationship. That's, y'all now both know exactly what y'all desire from your next person. Have that conversation. And maybe with y'all having the conversation, you tell him why, you don't want to have sex to you're in a relationship. And he explains more about why he would rather, have those kind of interactions with you prior to being in a relationship. Why? What does that look like? Why? Is it because before he did that? And y'all, we got to start talking. We got to start communicating. We cannot keep on like moving about life without actually communicating. You have to communicate every little 6 months in. Y'all can start having real communication, right? Anything, any thought on your mind, anything. I mean, you don't want to be weird or crazy, but no, for real. Like talk. Holding any of this shit in, moving in a relationship with ambiguity and not fully transparent, you are setting the foundation for your future. If y'all only talk about the things y'all have in common, if y'all only relate on the things y'all have in common, if y'all only talk about the things that you both like, if y'all, if y'all don't start talking about those middle conversations, the things you don't like, the scary parts of your life, or how you got to be the way you are, XYZ, how they got to be the way they are, and try to understand each other, that's how you set a solid foundation. Anything else is a lie, okay? It's a lie. Y'all are with each other for either the convenience, for what y'all can benefit from one another, for how y'all make each other feel when y'all are around each other, but y'all don't truly know each other because y'all don't really talk about nothing. So then you'll end up, being married to somebody, and then all of a sudden 10 years down the road, you don't even know who the fuck you're talking to because I don't know who I'm looking at. I did not marry you. I don't know who you are. You know what I'm saying? Or I don't know who you are. Yeah, because y'all ain't talk. Y'all ain't talk one time. Y'all was talking about freaking Christianity and talking about the things, the more popular things in scriptures, and not saying that these are not beautiful things to talk about. Those are great things to talk about, but that's not who you are. Who are you? You're talking about a book. You're reading a damn scripture. That ain't who you. Who are you? What is your story? What did you go through? How did you become to be the person that you are? What does that look like? What are your insecurities? What are your fears? What are the things you are very comfortable in? Start having real conversation, and you will start to see real relationships flourish. All right? Y'all, 33. You know what I'm saying? He ain't 23. He's 33. He been around a little bit. All right. I'm so lost in my life right now. My boyfriend and I were going to go on a break because of how he treats me, and I thought I deserved better. He is very manipulative and verbally and mentally abusive to me. Aw, I'm sorry. I've been there before. Not in a relationship, but I thought I detached. Then when it came time for him to move out, I was so upset and sobbing all day. He stayed, and now we're acting like nothing happened. But what happens when we argue? He treats me awful again. This is a whole cycle again. I want him to leave, and then, okay, let's see. Let me move on because you got a little bit going on. Let's see. I figured out a trauma bond. Okay, so you figured out. Yeah, I was going to say, it's definitely a trauma bond. You said I figured out I am trauma bonded to him. He said a lot of bad things about my family, and I told them what he said, and now they obviously hate me because I didn't leave him like I said I would. Nobody knows how hard it is to leave a trauma bond. What is wrong with me? I know I deserve better, but can't seem to leave him. Everyone in my life hates me. Everything is falling apart. I'm 22 years old, and I was with him for 5 years, and I feel like I wasted 5 years of my life because of this. Okay. Thank you for me. First of all, thank you for trusting me with your truth. Let me start by saying that. All of you all, thank you all for trusting me with your truth, and I'm never judging you or never trying to judge you. So again, if I ever sound like I'm judging you, I'm not. I'm a Sagittarius, so we're very blunt, but I do try to coat it with through a filter and make it digestible. That said, shout out to you knowing it's a trauma bond, because I was gonna say that in 2 seconds. Like, it's definitely a trauma bond. You know what I mean? I saw this thing on Instagram and I couldn't have agreed more. And it was basically this girl. She said, some of y'all gonna have to go through some more shit. Some of y'all gonna have to go through some more shit. You gonna have to get talked to a little more crazy. You have to get cussed out, whatever, Because when you're ready, you'll know. You're in this space. I'm not telling you to stay. Matter of fact, you need to leave. But that hasn't worked up until then. That hasn't worked up until now. Just like with me, I could put myself on a transparent platform. Listen, I was in very narcissistic, abusive, mentally, emotionally, and even verbally abusive relationship, and it wasn't romantic at all. And I kept staying because I loved them. I loved them, and I still love them. Always will. But you have to start choosing you. You got to get to a point where you say, you deserve better. And not only do I deserve better, I'm done. I'm done. But here's the thing. You will know when you're done. I can't tell you how many people in my lifetime have witnessed, the dark moments with the person I experienced it with. And I would make excuses. I would find a way to go back. When I would walk away, I would still find a way to turn around and look back and say, hey, right? Because that's just the way the heart is set up. Especially a lot of times you might be afraid. You're 22, which means you've been doing this since you were, 17? Yeah, 17, 3, 20. Yeah, 17. 17, 18 years old. You're a baby. You're young. This is a great, honestly, you're in the best place to experience this type of dynamic, because I can tell you this much. The moment you walk away from this and you learn the lessons you're supposed to learn from this, you will never return. You will never return. And you may feel like you wasted 5 years of your life, but you're 22. Imagine somebody who's 42. You know what I mean? Like, you are ahead of the curve. Don't be so hard on yourself. Start honoring yourself a little more. Start giving yourself more credit. You didn't waste 5 years. You gained experience. You learned who you are. You're learning who you are. You're learning what you don't like. It's just depending on your vantage point, how you look at something. Don't be so critical of yourself, because you already have somebody doing that for you. You need to be in a space where you are completely uplifting yourself and being realistic with yourself and challenging yourself to actually want something better in life. I wish you the absolute best of luck. I know that you're going to make it out, but you have to know you're going to make it out. You have to know when you deserve more, right? And it can't be, that's how, with a narcissist and an abuse, hell yeah. They never intend on leaving. Let's be very clear. A person who is your abuser, they don't want to leave. You know why they don't leave? Who the hell going to put up with their shit? Who? Who's going to, not their representative, not the version they want people to believe who they are, right? Or the good parts of them, because there are good parts of people. Not the good parts of them. Who's going to really put up with all that trauma and that stuff they haven't healed? Nobody. But you are. I was. You got to start having real conversations, okay? You got this. Move along. Like, choose you. All right. Next one. How you let go. Okay. How you let go who you wanted to marry, but they're not as involved as you anymore. She had a few things physically. I had a few on text. Okay, so I'm imagining y'all talking about cheating, because that wouldn't make sense any other way. She has not been as into us yet. She says she's totally is and loves me, but I feel something is up. Should I run before I hurt more? I'm fully committed to her and love her 100%, like for real, but don't think she is. What do I do? Okay, so y'all have both hurt each other and betrayed each other, and now y'all are in self-preservation mode, where y'all are protecting yourselves. It sounds like you're in a space where, even though whatever happened with her, you still love her, you still want things to work out. She's in a space where she says it, but you don't feel like you're receiving it physically. Cheating, betrayal in that regard is a hard one. It's a hard pill to swallow. And so she truly may love the hell out of you. She truly may love you a lot, but she may be reminded every single time she sees you, or every time I don't know, that could exist. But it's weird because she also cheated. So it's like, okay, let me take back what I said. If she physically cheated, but you cheated through text, first of all, a woman, I'm not being sexist or whatever, but I'm just saying how the female mind is constructed. To physically lay down with somebody is a huge commitment, right? Women are emotional beings. They are, they're more so into the mind, or you can make them laugh. You have to get them to feel something before they move that way, which means y'all have some shit going on in y'all relationship, and that's every relationship. And y'all may not have addressed it clearly, properly. Y'all both, instead of talking to each other about the things that y'all were dealing with, the insecurities, the whatever y'all had going on in your relationship or childhood traumas, y'all found it easier to talk to people outside of the house. That's the first thing y'all got to address, both of y'all. Y'all got to have what I call a coming to Jesus moment, where y'all both have to say, we did this, blah, 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 blah. Y'all both have to be very honest about the roles y'all played in the breakdown, okay? Someone texting and cheating versus someone physically, it is the same shit, okay? The only difference is, let me say this, the effects of both are the same. Now, one physically gave their body, one did not, but the effects of, or how it made you all feel is the same. If she's saying she loves the hell out of you, but you feel like something is up, I feel like this is what got y'all to the space where y'all were cheating before. It was like, you know what I mean? It was start having the uncomfortable conversations. Why did you cheat? And here's the thing. Don't feel bad. Like, don't be just, why did you cheat? Did you not feel like you were good enough? Did you feel like you were inadequate? Did you feel like having the validation of having, somebody else desire you in that way? Even though your partner was desiring you, you weren't whole within, so you had to look outside of your home to get that. Be honest about that. Be honest about that. Say, you know what? Maybe I'm this way because of blah, 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 blah. It could be something from your childhood. It could be whatever. Deal with that, because if not, it's going to show his face again. I promise you, it's going to show his face again. Same goes for her. Same exact advice. If y'all work through that, if y'all start having conversations, I also would recommend therapy. Go get therapy, and both of you all commit to therapy. No, go do it, okay? If all these things are put into play and it still seems like there's like no progress, then y'all got to start, reassessing what y'all want out of life. I do believe if she's saying she wants to, if you saying you do, and y'all both cheated before, y'all just got to start having real conversations with each other about what y'all are actually. Like I said, everything goes back to about how real are you willing to be. Okay. I'll subject. I'm not gonna answer more questions. A lot of times people say, I want to be in love. I want to have a long lasting relationship. I want to be married for blah 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 many years. Cool, right? And then the universe goes, but are you ready for that work? Are you ready to put them? You know what I'm saying? You got them. That work looks like being your most vulnerable self. Every little piece of you that you've hid from the world. Every little thing, and it's not that you're giving it to that other person, you are exposing that to heal that. So you heal you. See, because what happens is when you start to heal and you start to have these real conversations, let's say with your spouse, because typically it's going to be with your spouse. You have these conversations with your spouse. Let's say it's your deepest, darkest secrets that you never talk to anybody about. Only you've talked about to yourself. But these are things that haunt you. These are things that whatever, right? You expose it. Either they are receptive to it and they nurture you and they provide a safe space for you, blah, 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 blah. Or they use that against you, blah, blah, blah. Or they just, make fun of you or whatever. You having the courage to speak about it out loud is the first step of actually healing that shit so it never pops up again. So even if, worst case scenario, y'all start to have these conversations and they don't go so well, you are still in the space where you are healing these parts of yourself so that in your next situation, this shit not going to exist no more. You know what I'm saying? That complexity you had with your height, that complex you had with your skin tone, that complex you had with your learning ability, that complex you had with always needing to feel validated, whatever the case may be, whatever these things are, if you start having these conversations out loud, you get to heal them. And I do want to say this and preface this. Prepare yourself for any response, right? Prep your heart for any response. Best case scenario, they're going to support you. Best case scenario, they're going to be there. They're going to understand you, blah, blah, blah. You're going to go and live a happy life. Worst case scenario, they're going to laugh in your face. They're going to be another person from whatever that part of your life looked like. Reimagine that moment in real time. how are you now going to respond versus how you were back then? See, it's easy to get upset at the person for making fun of you. It's easy to get upset at the situation for not being supportive. It's easy, but what part do you, that's where the accountability piece plays a part. I shared this truth with you because I truly wanted to grow with you. But I'm proud of me for sharing this, and I'm going to talk about it even more because I don't want it to hold me down anymore. And I'm sorry that you aren't in a space in your life where you can start to be honest with yourself about how you show up or how whatever. But I wish you the best. And now you're healing that part of yourself, and you're going to attract somebody who's in that space versus when you attracted this individual, which again, this is the worst case scenario. When you attracted them, this is where you were vibrating. That is where you know what I mean? You're going to get exactly who you are. So when people get people who cheat or people who get people who this and third, we attract who the fuck we are, whether we like it or not, whether we want to hear it out loud or not. Literally texting and why I cheated, that's where we were, right? That's where we were mentally. That's where I was, and I was broken, didn't even know it. But until you start having these real conversations, and a lot of times being broken, it doesn't look the same for everybody. A lot of people are a high functioning broken individual, right? You will never know. A lot of us are like that. That don't mean you ain't broken. That don't mean that it's not some real things going on with you that you need to give yourself grace and understand that this is the one person in life you outside of yourself, because you need to start having conversations with yourself, but definitely the person you're building your life with. And if you can't be in a space where you can have these type of conversations with the person you're building your life with, why are you in that relationship? All right. That's it. I did want to share some things out today. Hopefully this is not too long, but all right. So y'all know I've been in therapy. Your boy been in therapy, and there's a lot of discoveries that, you know, my therapist have helped me make, and then even that I've made that I feel like maybe have helped her view things in a certain type of way, right? The correlation, if you will. It's just like humans, as we discover, we learn more and more about ourselves. But one thing she shared is that she said, you know, you want people to do the hard work because you don't want to set the boundaries. So like, you know, when they keep treating me bad. A lot of you all who've shared these stories with me, they keep treating me this way. I don't know why they keep doing it. I just want them to da-da-da. All right, that's cool. But you know they ain't never changed. You know that behavior has never changed. Why aren't you changing? Why aren't you setting the boundary? Why aren't you saying, I'm not going to answer my phone no more? Hell no. For what? They don't respect me. You know, a part of you believes that's what you deserve. Or at least don't believe you deserve any better. Or maybe don't feel that there is any better. Maybe you don't feel like you deserve it. You don't even feel like there is anything better out there. There is. I promise you there is. You're better. You're the best version of yourself, or at least you should be striving to become that version of yourself. Because again, who we are is who we attract. So if you keep on committing to being the best version of yourself, and that's not talking about being holier than thou, not cuss. Listen, I'm a cuss, okay? It's not about the surface shit we learn about in life and, no, it's about learning how to value yourself. And when you start doing that, I promise you, y'all are going to manifest some of the most beautiful, healthy relationships there is to have in this lifetime, where you won't have any insecurities, because you won't have any insecurities with yourself. You're human, you still have some, but you won't have these towers with yourself, because as I said before, everything that happens to us is only reaffirming how we already feel about ourselves, or what we already do to ourselves. If you don't have discipline with yourself, right? If you don't take care of your body, if you don't work out, I'm not saying you gotta be skinny. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, if you don't do the best things for your body, take your vitamins, you know, just drink your water and do the things that are healthy for you, speak positively about yourself, you know, tell yourself you are amazing, right? Never call yourself stupid, never talk down on yourself, never, you know, not saying you're human, you're gonna have moments, but always look at the cup as half full. If you keep doing these things, anything else that's outside of that, it's not going to even be in alignment with you. So when you come across it, it's so easy to push that shit off your desk. Somebody coming with you on that weird energy, or you having to feel like, oh, well, where are we? I know where the hell I'm at. So you not on the same page. Have a great day. Bye-bye. That's how that works, y'all. That's what that looks like. All right, that's all I got for y'all today. Listen, I love y'all so much. I will be back next week, and yes, I'll be on camera. This was a long week, but guess what? Next week, now that I've had this week, it was a really great week for my career. I would say that it was a really great week for my career as well as my personal life. It was new because I haven't done so many things like this, or my plate hasn't been this full in such a long time. So I had to, I have to calibrate, I have to readjust. But now that I know what I'm looking forward to, just know it's going to get better, 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 and better. All right, I love y'all. I thank y'all for trusting me with your truths. I'm not a professional. I'm only giving my opinion. That's it. Peace. You know what time it is. Cue that music.
Get it together. I do all that shit on the regular. We ain't going away. Let's get it on. Talks with Tess.